If you have no idea how many people you talk to, how many people you book, how many people you're gonna this and sign and follow up and this, you do not have a business. You are giving yourself your own job. It's not even a business. It was a very difficult venture. I met the good, the bad, and the ugly in this world. Showed me that they were gonna really help me and 10x my business. I had people just basically lie in my face. I paid a whole bunch of money, spent a lot of time, and at the end I get nothing. And when I say nothing, I'm not talking about $300-400 a month. That's nothing for me. That's coffee money. It means nothing. I'm talking about how to grow a business.
Hello, and hello. Welcome to the Profit Advisor podcast, where we separate coaching conversations from actual advisory outcomes. I'm Malcolm Reid. I'm the CEO of Pro Global Business Advisor and the mastermind and creator of the Profit Advisor platform. Now, each episode is a real operational breakdown. We talk about what broke, what changed, and the systems that make results repeatable. So if you want growth that survives without you, you're in the right place. And today, I have the privilege and the honor of welcoming Nancy Baki. Hey there, Nancy. How are you?
I am amazing. How are you, Malcolm?
You know what? I woke up this morning, hopped out of bed, so I get the opportunity to do something important and special today. So, Nancy, where are you tuning in? Like, where are you actually tuning in from? Where are you located?
I'm in Montreal, where it's super cold.
It's cold here in Maryland as well. Well, everyone, please meet Nancy Baki. Nancy, let me tell you, she's actually one of our advisors, and she is a brilliant business growth specialist, and her unmatched expertise has absolutely revolutionized countless owner-led businesses since 2007. So she has a wealth of experience, and she transforms them into powerhouses of profit while granting them freedom and clarity through her intuitive, no-nonsense strategies. And let me tell you, her remarkable ability to identify hidden revenue and empower teams, it has earned her a stellar reputation as the go-to authority for exponentially boosting bottom line profits. So if you're ready for growth, Nancy is the key to unlocking that potential. Nancy, I'm so excited that you're here. But when we jump right in, I know that, things you didn't wake up one day and all of a sudden you were just successful, right?
Absolutely not.
So if you could just tell the audience, because, there's a lot of people here that maybe are just getting started, or maybe they're running a business and they're stuck and they're feeling like it's only them. Tell us about the biggest challenge that you went through in actually growing your business and how you overcame that.
Well, I started in 2007. It was a very difficult venture, Malcolm. I met the good, the bad, and the ugly in this world. Yeah. I met ones that showed me that they were going to really help me and 10x my business. I had people just basically lie in my face.
Wow.
I paid a whole bunch of money, spent a lot of time, and at the end I get nothing. And when I say nothing, I'm not talking about $300-400 a month. That's nothing for me. That's coffee money. It means nothing. I'm talking about how to grow a business. One day I heard Malcolm's name, you. And this was about 8 years ago. And I didn't know you, but I had to find a way to reach out to you because I just heard some things that was just humble, honest. So I remember the first time I met you, and I know you remember that. It was a 15-minute conversation. You didn't know me. You just knew my name was Nancy Baki. You knew I had no money because I told you that. You knew I was a single mom. You knew I was just fed up of what was going on in my business and not being able to even pay my own bills. So you kindly did something that nobody ever did in my life. You didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. You told me what I needed to hear. And from that day on, you have actually turned me into that. There is no way I can speak to anybody without being completely straight up and direct and honest. Because you did that for me almost 10 years ago.
So I want to jump in, y'all, just let you know, this isn't a pitch, all right? This isn't a pitch. This is a actually working conversation about what actually changed her business. What I'd like to know, because, you know how I am. I don't like to, it feels really uncomfortable when I start getting this type of feedback. What were some of the actual hurdles that you had to overcome? And then what did you actually do? I want to give you the credit here. What did you actually do to put yourself in the position that you are today? Because again, there's listeners out here who are dealing with some real life challenges,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some of them have spouses or partners that don't support their journey. Some of them, are struggling with money, or they don't know what to do next. Like, what were you struggling with, and what were some of those things that you overcame?
Well, I was struggling with a lot of things. I was struggling in getting the client and helping the client. And I mean, keeping my client more than like a month and a half to 2 months and signing a client for more than like $300 a month. Even networking. Actually, I was so scared I was so nervous to speak to people because the world taught me to cold call. And I'm like, we don't need to cold call if you've got a process and work. Like, those are the things I just didn't understand because the world taught it to me that way. So I had to unlearn a lot of things to be able to get myself there. From the cold calling to now, we don't do cold calling. We do opportunity calls. Why? Well, I'm calling somebody so that they could see the opportunity for them to grow. And I got a
Yeah.
good process. And if we don't have a good process to speak to somebody, or if you don't even know who you're speaking to, stop talking to people. Stop posting. Stop social media. Stop going networking, right?
Mm.
It's from the beginning, from the hello. I had problems with all of it. And I had to reframe everything that I did to be able to make sure as a coach, as an advisor, I'm not feel like I'm trying to sell somebody as a transaction, because I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
So we had to find a way that was not transactional feeling for the business owner that we're dealing with.
So let me tell you what I'm hearing you say, and she dropped some really, really some really good stuff here. So what I'm hearing you say is, when you first started out, you did what the gurus told you to do. You went to networking events, you posted on social media, you DM strangers, you did cold calling, you did all these things, and it didn't resonate. It didn't get you to where you wanted to be. It wasn't until you recognized that there's a human being on the other end. How can I have a real connecting conversation that's not salesy or sleazy, that allows them to feel seen, heard, understood? And that kind of opened up the gateway for you to start helping more people. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Well said.
Wow. Now, Nancy, here's something interesting. I remember when I first started coaching, right? I felt like a fraud. Here I was struggling. I just came out of the corporate world, barely hanging on to the little bit of savings I had. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to become a coach. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to start helping other people make their dreams come true. And it felt like a fraud because I was struggling, right? And here I am trying to help other people that's struggling get out of their struggles. So it felt a little, You were at that place before too, right? Where you were a struggling business coach trying to help people grow a business. What was that like for you?
So I'll say, before I met you, it was horrible.
Not about me, y'all. She just can't help herself. It's not about me today. We're going to keep this about Nancy.
I appreciate that, Malcolm. I appreciate it. I'm damn, without partnering with you, Malcolm, I would not be where I am at today. So thank you. And I appreciate you. Can you bring me back the question again? Thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of us have experience in the corporate world, and we did things really well there, and so we decided, you know what, I'm going to take this experience and I'm going to go help someone else grow their business. And then we're out here on our own. We don't know how to separate ourselves. We're struggling. We don't know how to get clients. So I was at a place as a coach where I felt inauthentic trying to help someone else grow their business when I personally was struggling. Have you been in that place? And if so, what did it feel like for you?
It was horrible. I definitely did feel that place back in 2020, I'll say 2017, 2018 and before. That's exactly how I felt every day. And I felt like I should just quit this business and go somewhere else because I don't have a good process. I mean, I was really good in relationship building, but when that's just a piece of it. People loved talking to me, but when it came to working together, the results weren't there. It's just, I didn't even enjoy it. And I was like, I didn't even like going to get clients because I have integrity. And, I don't have one negative review because I like honesty, integrity, being ethical. That is so important when I work with anybody, whether it's a partner or a business. It's so important.
Yeah.
And I was not getting that. So I had to figure out what do I need to do to make sure to, one, speak to people that are really ready to do the work. Number two, just getting the booking appointments the proper way. Three, not being transactional. And not even thinking, oh, that's a really nice person. He's got money. He's going to be my client. Like, just not even thinking of what that outcome, and
Yeah.
really concentrating on what does that person on the other side need, want? Do they actually want? And that was one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah. Not making it about you, really making it about, what is it they need, and what is it that you can help support them do to make their dreams, goals, aspirations, come to life. That's
Exactly.
awesome. Let me tell you what I did, and I'm going to share this with my audience. I remember my first client, and you know what? I told her she was my first client. I said, you're my first client, and we're going to build something special together. And, I was terrified to tell her that, because I thought that somehow she would look down on me, like I wasn't as credible as she thought. But it was the opposite, Nancy. She actually was excited to be a part of me actually going out there on my own and supporting people at a high level. So my advice to everyone is just, as Nancy said, be authentic, be honest, be open with people. So you can do that without decreasing, or be like minimizing your ability. Honesty, I believe, actually increases, your ability and how people see you. Nancy, with that in mind, though, really quick, I was just thinking, what did you, not just for ourselves, but other people who are in the coaching industry, because small business owners rely on coaches, consultants, and advisors to grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what did you immediately notice as you kind of got into this business and started seeing success? What did you immediately notice that business coaches misunderstood about business?
The complete thing about business. To be honest, look, I went to business school, Malcolm. I went to top university and colleges, and most coaches have not. It's really running a business. That lawyers have got into business. Lawyers go to law school and they still don't know how to do business. As coaches, nobody's teaching us how to do business.
Wow.
They don't teach us how to talk to people. They don't teach us we need to have books, that we need a CRM. We need to follow up with people. I could keep on going. Nobody teaches us that.
So were you seeing that coaches were, clients were hiring a coach, and then decisions were being made emotionally instead of structurally because of their lack of business knowledge?
And again, that comes back to the coach that doesn't know what they're doing. They're just coaching. I'll call it nonsense for the moment. It's not getting them from step A to step B. So it's a whole bunch of talk and a whole bunch of nothing at the end.
So how can a business owner, because obviously we care about the small business owner, right? That they're the bedrock of our community. Everything goes based on the small business owner and their families, right?
Yes.
What advice would you give to a small business owner who's considering getting some support from a coach or a consultant? What should they, what's the top 3 things they should look for before they hire someone?
Well, first, I would have to say some don't even know what a coach is. So first, number one, even before that, they actually have to want to grow their business.
Okay. So step one, you must have the desire to grow. And that could be uncomfortable, right? So that's step one. What's the next thing they should do or look at?
When they are looking for a right coach, advisor, because the word coach today is being really overly used. So coach, advisor, that's actually going to help them grow their business. They want to see the how. How is that person actually going to help them? That's a big one, because a lot, for the last many years, people show the what. They don't show the how. And then they go and spend 10, 20, 50, 100 grand. They go take loans, take off equity out of their house. And then at the end, all they're getting are templates. So they have to really understand, what are they getting? Who are they working with? Can they trust them so blindly? Even, I'm not going to say as close as your spouse, but as close as your partner in your business, that you could talk about anything and everything.
Wow. This is some good stuff. So first thing you're saying is understand what a coach really is, what their role is. Number 2, make sure that this person tells you how they're going to support you, not what you need to do. And there's a big difference there. Someone can say, well, what you need to do is more marketing. What you need to do is change your positioning. Well, how do I do that? Someone that can actually lay out for you a step by step by step on how you're going to get the outcome you desire. And then she mentioned something that's huge, being able to trust them. Because this person, we're talking, one of the most important things in your life is your business. And here's someone that's pouring into you. What have they done? Are they someone that has morals, values, ethics, etc.? So it's not just about the money. It's not just about they talk a good game. They must be able to prove what they say, back it up, and be a person that you feel good about. Please, everyone, jot that down. Jot that down. And I would say that those are applicable not just to a coach, but to any person that you're going to hire and lock arms with. So Nancy, what numbers in a business actually matter most, but that most coaches ignore them or may not even understand what numbers matter most?
Wonderful question. And I know you remember me back in the day when I first started. I did not like numbers. And you did really well with me. They're called KPIs, your key performance indicators. If you have no idea how many people you talk to, how many people you book, how many people you're going to this and sign and follow up on this, you do not have a business. You are giving yourself your own job and you have no follow-ups. It's not even a business. So it's very important. I know the first year I wanted nothing to do with numbers.
Yeah, most don't.
But I remember the day you told me, I will never forget those words. You said, well, if you're not going to do that, well, I'm not going to give you the next step because it's not going to help you. You're going to back yourself up. I backed myself up and I had to get into my numbers. And today, I don't know how I would run a business. Now I'm running a business. Now I'm not self-employed anymore. Now I'm actually running a business. How can I run it without? And even with all my partners that I work with, it is something that is very definite. The ones that do them well, they are doing well. The ones that don't.
What I'm hearing you say, Nancy, is business decisions aren't made from emotion or from your feelings. It's math and data. And the only way that you can make good business decisions as a small business owner is you have to know the numbers that matter. And what you're saying is, one is your key performance indicators, tracking your leads, your opportunities, how they're converting. And, even when they do convert, understanding, what your cost per acquisition and what your average dollar per transaction, et cetera, is, and then translate that to your profitability. Because look, people look at revenue and they brag, but it's your profits, right? What you keep and what you bring home is what matters. And if you don't know these numbers, you're just operating on hopium. You're not running a real business. This is some good stuff, Nancy. So first of all, Nancy, I know the audience is loving. They're absolutely loving, one, your transparency and, the lessons that you've learned as well. So what I'm going to ask you is this, speaking to the audience, what's the one thing that you want them to walk away and do today? Something that they can do today that can make an impact when they get off of this, from listening to this show?
Great question. Oh, there's a lot of different things that they could do. Okay, let me pick one out of the hat.
What would be something that is a simple, no-cost strategy that they could maybe utilize that doesn't require much at all, but they can see more profits? Anything that you can think of that's really simple that people resist doing?
One that they don't even have to think about or do very much about is increase your prices.
Raise your prices. Why do you say that?
Well, one, our value. One, our worth. Two, our costs. And as the year goes on, listen, wherever you go today, your prices increase. Whether it's your Google, whether it's at your dentist, whether it's for your hair, whatever it is, they increase it. They pass it to you.
I was at McDonald's the other day, and do you know that a large fry is almost $6? Anyway, I digress. Go ahead, Nancy.
Okay, but so a lot of businesses make this mistake, and they don't increase their prices. And they get price increases, and they don't pass it on. Actually, one of my massage therapists, he increased his price by $3. I sat with him and I said, please, I will never leave you if you charge me an extra $10. You know that I like you, and I'm not going to go, and I drive 40 minutes to come to you, and I'm going to still come to you, even if he laughed. And he goes, "You're right." I said, "I know. That's why I'm letting you know. Please increase your prices."
Increase your prices. Did y'all hear that? Increase your prices. Listen, don't be afraid to do it. A lot of people, Nancy, are afraid to increase their prices. It's very simple to do. Increase them and watch what happens. In fact, I've learned that a lot of times people look at your value based on how much you charge. So with this, Nancy, I'm going to say thank you, and thank you so much again for just giving the audience, all of you, right? Your transparency, that wonderful smile. Can we see that smile? Yeah. And just your willingness to give yourself to the world as you do. Everyone, if this episode made you rethink your operational model, or if there's something you found of value that you can benefit from today, which we know you did, don't just binge. Build. Take massive action now. And what that means is if you just get 1% better each week and you take 2 weeks off, by the end of the year, you're 50% better. And if you're serious about moving from a business that's inconsistent and you don't really understand how to grow your business to the next level, please subscribe. Anyone that you know that can benefit, send it to them, and keep making your impact and never give up. This is Malcolm Reid with the Profit Advisor Podcast. Signing off. We'll see you next time.